Credit card debt is one of the most common types of debt in the United States. According to a previous study done by the Federal Reserve, credit card debt reached almost $1 trillion in 2018. With that being said, here are 10 different ways for anyone to avoid credit card debt. 1. Don't use a credit card for everyday expenses. If we're using a credit card for everyday expenses, we're not only spending more than what we can afford, we're also paying interest on everything we buy. Please keep in mind that the average American household has around $16,000 in credit card debt, according to a previous study done by Experian. The concern that arises is that the average balance is growing faster than the average American's income. When we're using a credit card for everyday expenses, we are paying more out of pocket than we would have if we would have just made a cash purchase. If we're paying interest on an item that could have been paid for with cash, then it means our money is working against us, rather than for us, when it comes to building wealth over time. Over time, using a credit card for everyday expenses can ruin our credit score. Paying off our credit card every month will build up our credit score over time, but not if we're always paying just the minimum amount each month. If this happens enough times, lenders will start thinking twice about whether or not they want to lend us money. Another reason as to why we shouldn't use credit card for everyday expenses is that the interest rates on cash advances are much higher than those charged on purchases, often double-digit percentages per year compared with just over 2% for purchases. And the fees for cash advances can be even higher than the interest rate itself, which could be up to $5 per transaction plus 1% of the amount advanced. Credit cards also encourage people to spend more than they can afford. If we're not careful about how much we charge on our credit card each month, then it could take years before we pay off that balance at an 18% annual percentage rate. This means that we will end up paying thousands of dollars in interest fees alone. If we do decide to use our credit card for everyday expenses, then we need to make sure that we have enough money in our bank accounts to cover those purchases. 2. Pay off our balance in full each month. The most obvious way to avoid credit card debt is by paying off our balance in full each month, but it's also the most difficult for many people. Making only the minimum payment each month means we'll be paying interest on every purchase we make. This can add up to a lot of money over time. The average household has a balance on their credit cards anywhere from $1,000 and $2,000 per year in interest charges alone. If we pay only the minimum due each month, that interest can quickly add up and make it even more difficult to pay down our debt. But if we can pay off our balance in full every month, we'll save ourselves a lot of money in the long run. 3. Set up automatic payments for our credit card payments. Setting up automatic payments for our credit card payments every month so we don't miss any payment due dates. If we're going away on vacation, setting up automatic bill pay before we leave ensures that everything gets paid on time while we're away from home. Opting into receiving text messages about our automatic payments helps to avoid missing something important such as an overdraft or insufficient funds, so we can fix the issue before too much damage is done. Most companies will allow us to set up automatic payments from an account of our choosing, which will give us more control over when payments are made and how much they will be. Also, we can set up automatic payments through our bank, a financial institution's website, or a mobile app. Automatic payments can help prevent late fees, which can add up over time if they aren't paid off in full each month. Make sure to check whether there is any additional cost for setting up an automatic payment plan before agreeing to it. 4. Stop using store credit cards for everyday purchases. If we have a store credit card, we should use it for small purchases and other expenses that we would normally put on our credit card. However, if we're able to make the purchase with cash or a debit card instead of using store credit, we should do so. Shopping at a store that has a retail credit card that offers rewards or cash back is ideal. This is the simplest and most effective way to earn rewards that can be used at the same store where we shop on a regular basis. The more we spend, the more we can get back in rewards. Always keep in mind that even though stores may offer credit cards that have no annual fee, a lot of these store credit cards can carry high interest rates. 5. Check our account online regularly. Checking our account online is the easiest way to keep track of how much we're spending. We can also log in to our bank's mobile app to check our balance and make bank transfers if needed. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, offers information on how to monitor bank accounts, as well as tips on how to avoid identity theft. If we're using a debit card, we'll probably be able to see our most recent purchases at any ATM. However, if we don't check our statement on a regular basis, it's easy to run out of money and not know it, or even worse, have a negative balance on our bank account after paying for groceries or paying rent. If we find that we spent more than usual on certain items and stores, it may be time to cut back or look into other ways of saving money. Please keep in mind that it's not too late to cancel a debit card or set up alerts for unusual activity in case we're unsure of what's happening in our account. If we don't have an account, we can still get a good idea of where our money goes by keeping a spending log using an Excel spreadsheet, Mint, or QuickBooks. 6. Ignore offers for pre-approved credit cards. If we're getting offers for pre-approved credit cards, we should try our best to ignore them. Credit card companies can buy lists of people who are shown an interest in getting a new credit card, often by filling out online applications, then send them offers to sign up for a new account. A lot of people fall for this trap because they think it's an easy way to get a new card without having to pay an annual fee or spend money on an annual rewards program. But these offers aren't really pre-approved at all. They're usually just a solicitation to apply for a real account with a real credit limit. We would still have to complete the application and provide all of our personal information before the issuer can make any decisions about whether or not to approve us for an account. And if there's anything wrong with our credit history, then there's a chance we won't be approved at all. Sometimes, pre-approved credit card offers are sent to us in the mail, but we must not be tempted to respond. These credit card offers are designed to lure us into applying for a card by offering an incentive like a cash bonus or points to use on travel. The catch is that these offers aren't really pre-approved. They're just a marketing ploy designed to get us to apply for cards we probably don't need. When we receive an offer for a pre-approved credit card, there's usually a phone number or URL that we can call or visit to apply for the card. When we call or visit the site, it may ask for information such as our name, address, and social security number, SSN. We may also be asked to provide details about our income and assets. Don't do it. There's no reason why we should give out this information unless we want the company to start sending bills directly to our homes. Also, if we were to apply for multiple cards with different companies at once, it's likely that some of them will share this information with one another so they all know who's applying for what cards and when, which could potentially lead to identity theft. 7. Take advantage of retailer discounts when making large purchases. When we're shopping for big-ticket items, we might be able to save money by taking advantage of retailer discounts. Retailers often offer discounts for large purchases, such as furniture sets and appliances. The savings can be significant, sometimes up to 20%. Here are some ways to get the most from these deals. Ask about any special offers or promotions. Some stores have a formal program that allows them to offer significant discounts on certain high-ticket items. Other retailers may not advertise their promotions, but will offer them if we ask. Make sure the discount is real. Many retailers offer sales that sound too good to be true, but aren't really bargains because they apply only to select products or brands. Others may require us to buy other items along with our primary purchase. Shop at different stores. The best deals tend to be found at stores in the same chain or at competing chains that are trying to gain market share by offering attractive prices on certain items. 8. Pay attention when signing up for new accounts so we don't get stuck with extra fees or high interest rates. Pay attention when signing up for new accounts so we don't get stuck with extra fees or high interest rates. The key to avoiding these types of fees is to read the fine print. We can avoid a lot of problems by simply taking the time to read through all the terms and conditions before we sign up for anything. Here are some of the most common fees we may encounter. Activation fee. This fee is charged when we first open an account, usually to cover the cost of setting up our account and verifying our identity. This can range from $5 to $25 depending on the institution and type of account. Annual fee. Some credit cards charge an annual fee after the first year, typically $50, $100 per year, even if we don't use them or pay off our balance each month. Be sure that these fees are worth paying before signing up. Balance transfer fee. If we're looking to transfer balances from other high-interest credit cards or personal loans onto one card with a lower rate and thus save money, make sure there isn't an upfront balance transfer fee charged by that bank or lender. 9. Increase our monthly payments. There are several ways to reduce the amount of interest we pay on our balance. One is to make extra payments. We can schedule a monthly or bi-monthly payment to be automatically deducted from our bank account, or we can make a one-time payment at any time. If we have made an initial monthly payment and receive a bill for the following month, we may want to request an extension on our due date so that we can pay more than once in a month. If we're able to pay off our balance in full but want to pay down our debt even faster, try increasing our monthly payments by 1 to 5% each month until we get to a point where we can pay off everything within 6 months or less, depending on how much debt we have. Then make sure we stick with this new plan so that it doesn't take longer than necessary. We should always consider our budget when wanting to pay more than the minimum payment owed each month. If our budget is tight and we're barely able to afford the minimum payment on our loans, increasing our payments could become a hardship. Try re-evaluating how much money we're spending each month on our needs and wants. On the other hand, if we can afford to increase our payments, even slightly, then do so. It's usually better to make small increases than nothing at all. 10. Curb any credit card that we're not using. If we're paying interest on a card, cut it up. If we have a balance, pay off the balance as soon as possible. If we don't think we can pay off the balance, cut the card anyway. We may not have to close the account because most banks will cancel the account for non-use within months of receiving no payment. However, if we do have an open account with a balance and want to keep it open, make sure all payments are made on time and in full each month. A couple of reasons to cut up your credit card are as followed. Our unused cards may be costing us money in the form of annual fees, interest, or other charges. If our identity is stolen, the thief could use your unused cards to rack up big charges before you even know they were stolen, or while they were still in your wallet. The best way to make sure that you're not tempted by credit cards is to cut up any that aren't being used on a regular basis. Overall, I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.